Anxiety is a negative emotional response elicited following an appraisal of a situation or an event. It is universal across all cultures and is experienced by everyone among a variety of situations. Anxiety has a distinct physiology, enabling it to be observed through a unique set of action tendencies and particular facial expressions demonstrated by the individual under observation. There are many different types of anxiety, including cognitive, somatic, social, competitive, state, social physique, and trait.
Now to further describe the different types of anxiety. First of all, there is trait and state. Trait anxiety is described as anxiety that one experiences constantly. It is a stable part of their personality, and it allows one to perceive everyday activities as physically or psychologically threatening. State anxiety is associated with worries and apprehension, and it may change from moment to moment. In this sense, anxiety is more of a feeling rather than part of one's personality. Next, we have cognitive and somatic anxiety. Cognitive anxiety includes concerns or worries that recede the ability to focus or concentrate, while somatic anxiety includes physiological and affective symptoms of anxiety. For example, getting butterflies in your stomach. Anxiety is very common in sports. In fact, there are numerous environmental and situational factors of anxiety, of which can affect one's performance in a negative or positive manner. These include sport type, location of competition, importance and criticality of competition, type of role, and temporal patterning. An example of a sport where participants can be affected by these correlates is figure skating. Figure skaters are especially affected by the sport type correlate. The sport type correlate can be further described. It claims that individual athletes experience high levels of trait and state anxiety than team sport athletes. This is because individual athletes, especially in youth sport, feel more pressure while performing, since all attention is on them at all times. This attention comes especially from the athlete's parents.
As we all know, parents are probably the most influential agents of socialization one has. They teach us morals, values, and oftentimes a child's behavior is linked to that of their parents. But in sport, parents are notorious for exerting far too much pressure on their kids, which increases their anxiety levels, which will ultimately decrease the athlete's performance level. Parental pressure is a variation of behavior from the parents of an athlete, which are meant to intimidate the athletes into striving for successes that are important to the parent. This communication may include communication of achievement goals and expectations, careful monitoring of the athlete's behavior, encouragement, and communication of approval or disapproval. Many parents will address these behaviors with an all-or-nothing attitude, which will increase pressure and decrease enjoyment for the athletes. One particular athlete who experienced this sort of pressure from her parents is Alyssa Brown, a young figure skater from Windsor, Ontario.
So I started skating when I was about 6 years old, and it was really fun. I competed. My mom was very supportive at the time. Even when I came in last, she was very supportive. It wasn't about winning. It was all about having fun and just competing. As I started getting older and advancing, my mom started becoming very pressuring with skating, and that put some anxiety on me. So whenever I went to a competition, it was installed in me to win. So that was what I was meant to do, to win. So my mom was basically vicariously living through me, was a factor into it. So I felt like I could not let her down, and that put so much pressure on me that it just made the whole sport and competing wasn't fun anymore. Because if I lost, I wouldn't be doing good for my mom, you could say. So with the anxiety on me, I wasn't enjoying it anymore. I ended up having a lot of health problems because of it, just stress, low blood pressure, everything, just because I felt like everything was on my skating. Skating came before everything, school, friends, and I wasn't happy doing it. And I just feel like my mom was really, really hardcore. And I didn't want to let her down, but at the same time, I didn't need to do what was going to make me happy.
Parents and their child athletes should together establish a medium where winning is a goal, but the sport experience itself should be most valuable.